Great. So nice to see you all, guys. I think that hoteliers would like probably for us to get directly like on topics. So I know that I have a few seconds to present myself and then 1 minute to pitch, and then we have a real discussion once we have taken away all the commercials. So whenever you want, I'm ready to start.
Okay, so Benji, thanks for being with us, obviously. We will stick to what we did all morning, and that is a quick intro to yourself, a 60-second pitch about Quicktext, and then share, and somehow Maurits is still connected.
Can we just let him go somehow?
No, leave Maurits there. It's just interesting that his screen pops up all the time.
Well, whenever he speaks, I guess, right?
Or someone speaks there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So and then whatever you prepared, Benji, obviously. So a quick intro to yourself, who you are, what you did, then a 60-second presentation as we do at the camps, because Benji is our host in Spain and in France for all camps, and then whatever you prepared.
Okay, so well, hello guys. I'm Ben from Quicktext, but I'm mainly like an entrepreneur. I've been part of different like companies. One like. But always like companies that were startups, and basically my I have like 3 hashtags to introduce myself, which are always the same, that I always use in all camps that we do together. The first one is no filter, because I say everything I think at the moment I think about the thing. So basically I say all the time what's on my mind. Then basically I'm pretty interested in hotel technology. That's what I've been doing all my life. Started with Price Match, which was the first startup I was part of, and then a few others. And the one that I'm working in right now is Quicktext, and it's a chatbot for hotels. And I'll tell you more about this later. And my last, let's say, important trait, okay, is common sense. Okay, so everything I'm going to say is common sense, and basically for me, technology is just it's just a means to create or to support a strategy. So basically, I hope that today we will be more discussing about strategy and how to basically have a strong e-commerce, let's say, e-commerce strategy like for 2020. Okay, my internet is pretty bad, so I see that Zoom is starting over like constantly. I'm sorry about that. There is nothing I can do.
Okay.
So
we
that
have
was
a
me.
presentation we can share for you. Anything we should show?
Well, I will see. Actually, I had it prepared. I couldn't send it by WhatsApp earlier because I just finished it. But anyway, since most of the things I'm going to say are common sense and just based on experience, I don't really need a presentation. Okay.
True that. But Benji, if you want to send it over in parallel, you can send it by email to me if it's not too big, and I can show it from my screen.
Yes, no problem.
But just go ahead explaining Quicktext a little bit.
Okay, so basically, in short, Quicktext is a communication platform that hotels can use. Okay, it centralizes in one hub all the communication channels that you can use in order to interact with your customers. This is your live chat, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, SMS, and the messages coming through booking.com. So on one place, you have everything. And one thing that has become really big in Quicktext in the last 2 years is the chatbot, okay, which is like an automated agent, like an artificial intelligence that is actually able to answer to most customers' questions instantly and in 15 languages. Okay. What we have observed is that the fact that you are able to give this level of interactions to your customers is usually a good way to drive sales on your website, because right now, let's say that hotels are a little bit like they're expecting the customer to directly click on a difficult call to action, which is like the book now button. Like, you know, you don't know anything about the online visitor, like the guy that is on your website, and you expect him to click on book now. But many customers are not ready to do that. Okay. So basically, if you remember anything after this presentation, just remember that chatbots are here in order to catch hesitant customers, which happen to be a lot of people, because your hotel is not that special most of the time. When customers are on your website, they are going to travel, probably, if their travel is not canceled because ITB is canceled. But usually people when they're on your website, they're going to travel because your city is a destination, not your hotel. And they are not sure of why they should be traveling with you, or why not go to your competitor. So basically the idea is to catch these hesitant customers and get them to book a room with you just by giving them the information, the specific information they need. Okay? I try to keep it about 1 minute, so tell me if it was clear, because since I don't have my slide, I don't have anything, I'm completely improvising.
That's okay. Actually sharing the starting screen of your website info.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want, we could actually dive into a direct Q&A from our team as well, or do you want to explain something else?
Well, basically, it's really simple. Like the idea is really simple. Right now, your website is made from your mind to your customers. So it's what you want to say to your customers. The idea with chatbots is to revert that, because basically your customers, you have different kind of customers that have different needs. And what you hope to do is basically since customers are less and less going to be willing to search, basically you try to make your information, your relevant information available on demand. Okay, so basically what you do is you try to understand that your customer doesn't care too much about you, because that's true. I mean, you're not that important for a customer. You're a hotel among several. Okay, and the idea is that you try to understand that, and the things that you can do when you want to basically stand out of the crowd is you can have a third swimming pool or a room that is even more beautiful, but that costs money. What you can try that costs a lot less in terms of money is probably try to listen to what your customers want and deliver it to them. Because maybe it's not a third swimming pool or a bigger spa or a bigger room, but it might be a room where you can have, basically the customer is worried because, I don't know, he's traveling with a baby and he wants to make sure that everything is okay. Or maybe it's a customer that is looking for how this hotel is located compared to a specific place. And all these things are the things that are captured by a chatbot. What we're trying to do is revert your current sales process, where you have where you expect your customer to do all the work. We try to make it easy, okay? And I think everybody knows what a chatbot is and how it should work. The thing you've never seen is probably a chatbot that actually works, and that's Quicktext.
Could you elaborate a little bit on what's the difference, or what is special about the tool that you created, speaking, for example, about integration with other players and tools?
Okay, so basically, but that's general, okay? As a philosophy, we think that we are here to help the hotelier. Many technologies try to say, hey, we're so great, there is just this new platform that you have to use, etc. So basically, if you want to manage Quicktext, you do not necessarily have to use our extranet, etc. If you want, it can work from your emails. We have it can work from your mobile phone. Basically, you're able to manage your Quicktext interactions or your chatbot directly from things that you already have. So the first integration that I'd like to mention is the integration with your email system. So when, for example, there is a booking request, a customer that wants to book a room, basically we notify you by email, and you're able to manage. You're able to manage if the customer has not finished his booking, for example. You're able to see that he tried to book but didn't finish, and you're able to kind of follow up and make sure that the customer books. You know, even if you need to to call him because he didn't go for it in the booking engine. Then, well, of course, our second integration is every time that a customer tries to book a room, we send him to the booking engine, and so we're integrated with your booking engine. We're integrated with your CRM. So basically, if you I don't know, if a customer starts a conversation with you, at some point we will get his name, his email, his phone number, and all this information is going to be sent to your CRM. We create a new contact in your CRM, and we add like his details, and we add all the topics that he mentions. You know, like I don't know, he says that he's interested by the spa. We tag this customer as a customer that is sensitive to wellness, so that when you're you know, even if the customer just asks about the spa, now it's one more contact in your contact list that can be targeted by your emailing, for example. Then I don't know, we integrate with like right now we are validating the integration with Oki, that if a customer asks the hotel about I don't know, an upsell, well, basically we will be able to process his early check-in or his airport transfer or his upgrade directly through Oki, which is an upsell platform. We could potentially do it as well with Upsell Guru that I saw this morning. We just haven't found a customer in common with Upsell Guru, but the principle is the same. So basically, we try to integrate as much as we can, either to facilitate the life of the hotelier, such as like when there is a booking request that is not finished because the customer didn't put his credit card, we will make sure that the hotelier is aware, and we will usually use email because that's what hoteliers are like to use. We will also try everything that could be a cool new addition to the chatbot. For example, the ability to directly process upsells through Oki, or the ability to send customers to your CRM. I hope it wasn't too long.
No, it's all your time, so it's all good. Coming back to, do you have questions already?
Not yet.
Not yet. Sure.
Yes, just
Okay.
a little bit. Benjamin, a few years ago, you know, hoteliers were very, very concerned about using chatbots. You know, they never work, they don't speak all the languages, etc., etc. Can you maybe give us a little bit of an update on how good is the quality really? I mean, what happens, for example, if you have a chatbot, the chatbot reaches its limit, so it can't answer that particular question, and how does the process move forward from that point on?
Okay, so that's quite a fair question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a risk. Okay, I'm going to send you the link of our test chatbot, and you will be able to. Since I'm not able to share my screen, you'll be able to actually do live test yourself. Yeah. Okay. Basically, like,
Okay.
I sent it through the webinar chat. Basically, like it's a fair thing. Like you know, a few years ago, people were afraid that chatbots weren't able to answer to everything, and that was correct, and that's still the case. Okay, chatbots are not able to answer to everything, and they are not human agents. Okay, but when you realize that what's really important is for your hotel to be able to already like answer to most of the customer questions, it's already like a really good step. You know, like chatbots are not able to answer to everything, but they are already able to answer to about 80% of what you need. Okay, of what customers ask. Okay, which when you think about it is pretty great for a machine. Okay. The second point is that like human agents usually do not answer in time. So for example, compared to a human agent, a chatbot will give an instant answer. Okay, so the idea is that chatbots have an 80% accuracy and are instant. Humans are usually 100% accuracy, but usually when they answer, it's too late. The customer has already left. So that's the first point. Okay, you choose what you prefer. And the second point is usually when since AI is limited, and we know that, when the chatbot finds a topic it doesn't answer, there is an escalation phase. So usually, like it's good practice. Okay, any good chatbot will actually have the customer try to rephrase the question first, and then if the chatbot still doesn't have the answer, he will say, okay, I will transfer your request to a human, and this human is going to take maybe a few hours to reply. So basically, what we get during the conversation, or actually to log in, we get your email. When you logged in, I don't know if you realize, we get your email. So basically, a chat is more like a filter. Okay, we see that a lot of customers, about 10% of the people that are on your website, want to ask you questions. Okay, a chat or a chatbot in this case is actually making them making it really easy for them to enter the conversation. And while we enter the conversation, we qualify the lead, so we get what he wants. We get his email. We get well, basically everything. If at some point the chatbot finds a roadblock, he will try to let the customer know that the conversation has reached its limit, and that a human is going to take over. And basically, it's also trying to it's also going to try to say, hey, the answer is not going to happen like just right now. Okay, so don't worry, we'll get back to you either via phone, SMS, or email. And actually, the customer has the option to choose how he'd like to be contacted. Because the point, I think, is really like to get the customer in the conversation, understand what he wants, get the maximum out of the chatbot, and if necessary, a human can then get back at the customer, but not in a hurry. You know, like when the hotel has time, because maybe there is nobody available right now at the hotel. So basically, the chatbot opens the conversation, answer to some of the customer questions. If there is a roadblock, no problem. A human takes over, but it takes over in his own time, not necessarily immediately, because it's a stress for the hotel to answer immediately. So I don't know if it makes sense, or if it was too long. Again, just let me know.
Oh no, makes perfect sense. Thank you so much. I think 80% is quite high to be able to answer those questions. So is your tool limited by the number of languages, or how many languages can you display today?
Yes, so we are limited right now to 15 languages, okay, which is more than what you need, okay?
Okay,
so actually we got a client in South Africa today, and I was really excited to add Africans. And he said, but you know, like we do not really use Africans. It would be better to use Zulu. And I said, fine, let's go with it. So basically, like every time I find a customer with a new need, I make the effort to invest in, for example, we have customers in Finland and in Norway, and we immediately acquire the services of a translator, someone that we pay to train the chatbot in this language. The only problem we're facing right now with Norwegian specifically is that the guy wants to be paid 50 euros per hour. So if there is someone that speaks Norwegian here and that is looking for a job, let me know, because there is no way I'm going to pay 50 euros per hour to train the chatbot in Norwegian. But that's the only language on which I had this kind of setback. Like usually it's like, you know, we are able to pay to have someone training the bot, but except like Norwegian, because these people are really expensive. But I'm actually looking for a replacement.
Well, but health insurance in Norway is really expensive in schools as well. So what do you expect? I'm just kidding. I actually have Norwegian friends here in Cologne, so ping me later on that. I can help you maybe.
Please connect me.
So
we pay 15 euro per hour. Okay, 15 euro per hour. Okay.
15. Okay, forget it. I will not even ask them. No one works for 15 euros translating. Okay, more questions, Shoshana?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Let me just postpone this because there was an update almost happening on our computer. Everyone would have been gone. So when we last spoke at, I think it was WTM or whatever, or any panel, trade show, whatever, I remember that you had a very high figure on what's the return on investment when people start using a chatbot on their website.
Yes, so basically like, basically, when you start using a chatbot, it's part of a global strategy to improve direct sales. Okay, because like hotels are not charities. Okay, you want to make money. Okay, mostly. So the idea is chatbots can have a very good return on investment, provided that you use them properly. Okay, what do I mean by that? So from every 100 conversations, okay, in a chat or a chatbot, because I don't think it's a different number in a chat, but it's the same. For every 100 conversation, you'll have 30 conversations that are actually booking requests, okay, of people that are hesitant, okay. Of these 30 booking requests, like at least our chatbot is able to convert between 6 and 8, depending on your hotel, if it's a city hotel or if it's a resort hotel, okay. And basically, if you use the information provided by the chatbot, meaning that, for example, every time someone asks, I want to book a room, give the date, we will have his email and his phone number, okay? And basically, if you follow up on the customers that asked for a room but didn't finish the booking, you actually get an impressive return on investment, because maybe like the person that is on your website is not able to, or not willing to book immediately. But basically, if you do something that every salespeople do, like I think Daniel will be familiar with it, I'm familiar with it, and anyone that is not a hotelier is familiar with it. But when someone says, I'm interested by your product, browse your website, or in this case, ask for a room in your chatbot, well, if the person doesn't book by himself, you call back, you email back, you try to get the customer by all means, okay? And that's something I'm really trying to make hoteliers more sensitive about, because what I feel, and it's controversial, but I feel that hoteliers have this idea that online sales should be magical, you know, like the customer books on his own, he does everything on his own, and that's great. I think it's actually making you miss a lot of opportunities. Okay, so basically, like you have the people that will go to book now and finish their booking. You have the people that are going to start a conversation with the chatbot and book directly, and there are the people that will start a conversation with the chatbot and not finish their booking. And here, that's when a red light should like, you know, should appear on the hotel sales dashboard and say, hey, there is this lead, you need to follow up. Okay, it's not like right now you have a lot of things to do, right? you should actually be running after these reservations because right now you are in crisis. Okay, so that was what I was going to say. So chatbots have an amazing return on investment because they help you engage hesitant customers and basically get them in the booking funnel again. They will try to automate the sale as much as possible, but please, guys, stop dreaming that all sales are automated, because it's just not happening that way. Okay, so was that what you were expecting to hear?
Absolutely. And just once again, for the guys now tuning in and thinking, oh wow, Daniel now wears glasses and sits in Paris. We had to swap the sessions between Quicktext and OpenSmile. And so this is Quicktext now with the final Q&A. Do you have questions for Benji?
I'm good for now.
You're good? Yeah. You're good? Benji, you can answer. Benji, from your perspective, either in the perspective of Quicktext or generically speaking, what's for you the biggest change that will happen with our industry in the context of conversation, communication, and conversion?
Well, I think it's kind of like really broad. Basically, what's happening is that we are moving from a computer-based e-commerce that works very well with search to a mobile-based e-commerce, which is much more based on interaction. Okay, so of course, like everything that is conversational is picking up like crazy. Okay, but basically, like even Google is becoming conversational. If you don't mind, you can go to Google and ask how many calories there is in a spoon of Nutella, and you'll see that Google actually gives you an answer. Okay, so I don't know if you want to do this right now, or if I can just try to give you like a screenshot so that you really realize, because I think that most hoteliers are actually fighting the wrong battle. Okay, they are still working on an old SEO strategy, or you know, like they should actually focus much more on how Google is changing its behavior, because basically, like now, you do not expect people to search anymore. You try to give them an answer, and that's precisely what Google is doing. And hoteliers, like, you know, they are only now starting to use chatbots, okay? But, you know, like, they should already be, like, you know, everybody else is on the next step, okay? For example, it's how do you make your content available on demand on Google, sorry. And that's, you know, if you ask a question to Google, you will see that most of the time Google gives you an answer in a little square that is on top of the search results, and that's called a featured snippet. Okay, and that's Google way of becoming like more and more conversational. It's a process. Okay, be aware also that this little square where you have the information is basically like what the Google Assistant is reading when you ask him a question. Okay. So really, like, pay attention to the things. Understand that now things are becoming much more based on the customer, okay, on what's relevant for him. So stop like imagining that customers are going to browse through your content, that they are going to make the effort to buy from you. You have to make things easy, and basically like realize that e-commerce is more and more based on like or search is more and more based on an on-demand basis rather than a search basis. So if I have one thing to summarize it all, we're moving from search, where that's what I've explained, to interaction, okay? And that is taking place at all levels, either through Google itself, on your website via chatbots, and basically like right now, something that we are currently testing is that we are actually making the chatbot answers available to Google. Okay, so for example, when someone asks on Google, is it possible, like, is this hotel far from, you know, or is this hotel close to the Eiffel Tower? Well, basically, we are able to make our chatbot answers count as a reference. Okay, and that actually works very well, because basically it makes hotel improve their relevance on Google. I don't know if I was clear, because I have no image, and you didn't switch to share your screen on Google, but that's what I was hoping to explain today.
I think from all, well, basically I know most of the things you're doing anyhow, so for me it's not too new, but I think the last 2 minutes of what you explained, that's really key for me, and I think that's a game changer as well. Because
so if you can like explain it again to people, because I'm really afraid that I was unclear. But like basically, if you try, guys, to ask like what is the check-in time at I don't know, a specific hotel, or what is whatever, like who is the king of who is the president of Germany, you'll see that Google answers, and the same applies to your hotel. People do not search anymore; they interact. And if you are if you are blind, you will keep doing your old SEO strategy, and in 2 years' time, you're going to be fucked. Okay, that's the simplest expression of what I wanted to say.
No, and I agree with Daniel. I think Benjamin talked like about probably at last ITB last or something. It's like it's been a while, but absolutely, like, I mean, where your product has evolved and where it is going, and like now with this last interaction bit, that is super cool.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there should be something like a white paper or call to action paper or whatsoever that your customers can actually send to their agencies taking care of their websites and of their online marketing. So actually that interaction is done without you going back and forth or whatever. I think that would be very fruitful as well.
And I learned something today. Teachers.
Yeah, but the problem is that most hotels, and that will be the word of the end, because I see that my time is finishing. But basically, like most hotels are not even aware of this change. Okay, so they're not challenging their online agency. So, like, you know, I'm working on a white paper, that's true, but like it's mainly for hoteliers that do not really see that what is changing. They are just like doing a website that is slightly more beautiful than the one they had before. But they are not changing their mind. They are not really like understanding that their content should be available on demand. Like it's changing now, but it's taking time, and it's I think like they should kind of speed up, because Booking and Expedia are doing it very well. Like when you ask questions about hotels, usually it's Expedia and Booking that are the best at answering, not the hotel, and that's worrying, I think.
Yeah, we have a question from the audience as well for you, Benji, from Sirma. And Sirma is, well, she was asking for the name of the company, that's Quicktext. Elena typed it already, but she's asking, I hope Sirma is a she, actually. Where were you interested in the Bulgarian market as well? So are you active there, or do you want to go there?
I want to go everywhere. As I said, we always invest in a new language. We do not have Bulgarian at the moment, but if it's something that you are interested in, we are able to work there, and it takes basically 2-3 months for us to set up a new language.
So in that case, how is she going to contact you?
Or where do people find you in the next 2 days or 3 days?
Yeah, I think like basically if you can share my email with you, or my mobile, Daniel, that would be fine.
Okay, so if you missed the contact details of Benji, you can reach out to us as well, or go to quicktext.im. That's the website. There's actually a bot there. I think it's currently offline because Benji is speaking with us. But
no, it's not a bot. It's not a bot.
It's a chat.
It's a regular chat, because basically AI requires a lot of training. So we have a lot of training in making a bot for hotel, but we do not have a training for people that make bots for hotel. It's not the same. You have to train the chatbot on specific intents that are related to hotel. If I wanted to make a chatbot for me, it would be a whole different thing, and it would be a lot of effort. So we just have a regular chat on our website, and on hotels we have an automated chat, which is a chatbot.
Makes total sense. All right, thank you, Siama, for your request as well. I hope we will see you in the next sessions as well online. And thank you, Benjamin, for your time today and your preparation. Sorry it didn't work out with your presentation from over there. And I will see you soon, hopefully. And that leads us to switch over to Antonius from